Say, bro, the Milwaukee Bucks blew that game. But before we get into this video, everybody go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell as well so that you can receive a notification every single time we upload a video. And put some comments below. Let me know how you feel about this topic. Welcome to Sports R Us. And today we're going to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, they had a game against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When watching this game, I kind of felt like in the beginning that, the Brooklyn Nets was playing the Milwaukee Bucks, that they were just filling them out in certain type of ways. You saw the fact that James Harden, who came back from a hamstring injury, he wasn't himself. So early on, you can understand that he was more so a decoy within this game. They wanted to get him out there just so that they could pretty much see a shell of James Harden and think that he's going to do something. But he really didn't have anything to give yesterday. But I 100% give him props for just being out there and just giving his team whatever he did have in order to be there. Now, in the first half, the Brooklyn Nets were trailing. At one point, the Milwaukee Bucks was beating them by 14 points. They was pretty much killing them in that first half. They had them locked down. But at some point, Brooklyn woke up. And of course, we'll get into that portion in another video as it pertains to Kevin Durant. But the Milwaukee Bucks blew their chance at getting to the next round. I feel that they blew a huge opportunity to take over this series. To really take over this series. If they would have won 3 games in a row coming back to Brooklyn, took care of business, and then went back to Milwaukee, I think they would have won this series in 6 games. Because you would have shown them that I could now beat you. I have enough confidence. I'm going to beat you at your home. And I can come back to my home and then finish this all out in front of our fans so that they can cheer us on. Now, at this point, they would have to beat them in Milwaukee and have enough courage to say that they're going to play them in Brooklyn two days after that. I don't think that the Milwaukee Bucks have that in them. They'll shock me. Trust me, I'm a fan of Giannis. I like Giannis Antetokounmpo. I believe that he is who he is. I don't think that he's going to be somebody who's going to have a consistent jump shot. He's not going to shoot you any 3-pointers, even though he keeps on trying them. He's not going to hit free throws all the time. He is who he is. He has his moves. That's the ones he stick to. He doesn't really go outside of that base. That's what he has. But I feel like, just first of all, talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, he had huge plays in this game that he messed up. I do not understand why in the fourth quarter he was trying to shoot a fadeaway. Why is he fading away? Why was he trying to shoot a fadeaway at that point? Why is he not trying to get fouled going inside? Why is Giannis not trying to go inside? That does not make any sense to me whatsoever. Chris Middleton is a second, he's one of those players who, one game he'll give you amazing stats. And last night, of course, he had 25 points, so I'm not going to go too crazy on him, but he was 8 of 22, 36 from the field. That's not good. That's not good enough when you're looking to advance to the next round, because I believe that if the Milwaukee Bucks was able to win that game, go to Milwaukee, win that game, go to the next round, if it's Atlanta or if it's the 76ers, I believe that they will be able to beat them. But you blew your chance. You blew the chance. 25 points from Chris Middleton. He put up 22 shots and only made 8. You have Giannis, who put up 34, 12, and 4 with 2 blocks. He was 63 from the field. Played a great game as it pertains to him putting up those points. But at the end of the game, they needed him to come through. They needed him to give them a little bit more. Giannis last night, not that he could have matched what KD had, but he should have had at least 40 points. He needed 6 more points to win that game. 6 more points. And that's it was 108 to 114. Now, he could have got 6 more points. Maybe somebody else could have got another point or 2, and that could have helped them win that actual game. Maybe Chris Middleton would have hit, instead of hitting 8 of 22, he could have hit 9 of 22. But they didn't. and they blew an opportunity to move to the next round. And I think that this is where you start questioning if Giannis made the right decision. Did he make the right decision to come back to Milwaukee for them to constantly become a team that's going to go to the second round, possibly go to the conference finals, but mostly the first and the second round and then lose? That's a big question. And Mike Budenholzer needs to be fired. Mike Budenholzer needs to be fired. He needs to be on that list of coaches that we're seeing get fired right now. Because ain't no way you can tell me that PJ Tucker at pivotal moments in his game, he was taking him out. Made no sense. And if he was drawing up the plays for Giannis to go in there and shoot a fadeaway, a mid-range fadeaway, that's some of the dumbest plays I've ever seen in my life. And Chris Middleton, Giannis, I don't know if he was scared at the end or what was going on, but when Chris Middleton was trying to get him the ball literally 2 to 3 feet away from the basket and he allowed that ball to go through his legs, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. That was another blown opportunity by Giannis in order to win this game. Now at that point in the game, they were close. That was the opportunity for you to make some shots, go to the free throw line. Is either most likely you were gonna go to the free throw line, because Brooklyn would have made sure that they roughed you up, putting that shot up, and you would have been fouled. Of course, that's no problem. But they blew that game, and the Milwaukee Bucks, I believe, blew this series last night. Charles Barkley said it in the first half when I was watching the TNT inside the NBA during halftime. He said Milwaukee's making some of the dumbest moves he ever seen in his life. May have been one of the dumbest teams he ever seen in his life. And I agree with that, because the coach, to me, that's why I say Mike Budenholzer needs to be fired. Because no way you have a 14-point lead and you don't find a way. Now I know in the NBA, people hit threes, so it's quicker to, a 14, 20-point lead does not mean that you're going to win the game, especially at halftime. But there's certain things that a coach would call, certain plays that a coach would call, adjustments that a coach would make to make sure that this team withstands this lead that they had. Especially being a coach and understanding that your team has to go back home and then come back to Brooklyn with a Game 7, which is going to be more pressure on Giannis and Chris Middleton and the rest of the crew. So now you pretty much let the Brooklyn Nets off the hook when you could have put way more pressure on them to possibly win the game. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I think Mike Budenholzer needs to be fired right now. They can let him go right now, to be honest with you. They don't even have to wait until the end of the series. They can let him go and put in the assistant coach or whoever needs to call plays. They can call plays to make better adjustments than that, because what he's doing on that, on that sideline right now for that team, that's terrible. And it showed last night. So everybody go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and comment down below if you agree with me. Do you think Mike Budenholzer needs to be fired because of his showing this past game? And just let me know what you thought about that game. It was very entertaining. And did you think it was an entertaining game? And what adjustments would you have made if you were on the side of the Milwaukee Bucks? This has been Sports RS. I appreciate y'all.